Hey guys, this is Mike with Glacier Guides. We're going to be going over some of our rental bikes today and the safety talk that goes along with it. So first off, with our bikes, all of them are equipped with hydraulic disc brakes. That means there's a lot of stopping power every time you squeeze the levers. This is what we don't want, okay? In order to prevent that from happening and going over the handlebars, injuring yourself and possibly the bike, we want to make sure that we're braking using both brake levers at the same time and just gently squeezing them. We don't want a rapid squeeze where we're skidding out or, again, flipping over the handlebars. Next thing is our shifting. On our e-bikes, we have shift levers on the right-hand side. There is a thumb press and a trigger style button behind the brake. The thumb press is for going uphill. It makes our pedaling easier, right? When we're going uphill, we don't want to be cranking down super hard on the pedals. And so before we reach the hill, we're going to go 1-2 clicks on the thumb lever on the right-hand side while we're pedaling, and we'll gear down and be able to safely ride up the hill. The opposite, in order to gear up, is the trigger behind the brake. Again, 1 or 2 clicks while we're pedaling. Wait for it to shift gears, and then you can continue shifting with another 1 or 2 clicks. Next is the sizing of our bike. Right here we have our seat adjustment lever. So you open that up, give it a little bit of a wiggle, and bring it up to about your hip height. So where you find that ball and socket joint, bring it up to there, and that's a good place to start. From there, it's really important that you just find where you're comfortable. So if you want the seat a little bit lower, push it down. If you want it higher, go for it. Next up is helmets. Helmets are required in the park and should be fitted properly. So we're gonna try this one on to check if it's a good fit. First thing I'm gonna do is open up the adjustment knob, place it on my head, get it seated on there, buckle underneath the chin, and then I'm gonna tighten the knob righty-tighty so it's nice and snug and it's not shaking around. We want to make sure that the front of the helmet covers our forehead, and then we can fit at least 2 fingers underneath the strap, but it's still nice and snug. It's not shaking around or anything like that. One thing that's good to do before you head out on a ride is, even though we've looked over the bikes, it's important that you guys are comfortable and look over the bikes yourselves. So inspect the bike, make sure that everything seems tight, tires are pumped, brakes feel good, and that you're comfortable switching gears. On the left-hand side of the handlebars here, we have our computer controls, which control the level of pedal assist that we get from the e-bikes. On top here, we have our power button. It's just 1 click to turn on, and you'll get the screen popping up with an indication of miles per hour, the mode that you're in, and the battery indicator. On the left-hand side of the screen, we have a plus button and a minus button, which is going to help us cycle through the modes. So when you turn the bike on, you'll be in off automatically. You press the plus button once, you're now in economy, and then we'll cycle up into touring, sport, and then finally turbo. So turbo is going to give you the most amount of speed, shoot you down the road, but it's going to chew up your battery even faster. On the other end of that spectrum is economy mode. It's going to give you the least amount of pedal assist, but you're going to have a longer battery life. Next thing you'll notice is that all of our bikes, standard and e-bikes, come equipped with a kickstand. When we're not using our bikes, we're going for a hike, we want to set the bikes down to go on or take some pictures, something like that. We want to make sure that we're using the kickstand so as not to lay them on the pavement or in the vegetation. Keep in mind we're in a national park, so we're trying to protect the natural world around us. So that covers the basic operation of our bikes. But what we're going to talk about next is some of the hazards you may encounter on the road. First off, there will be people walking, pedestrians, right? They're obviously not going to be moving at the same pace as you are on a bike. So be sure to give them plenty of room, and while you're coming up behind them, just a friendly, hey, on your left. Same thing goes for bikers that are not traveling as fast as we are, especially people who are on pedal bikes while you are using an e-bike. You're going to be able to move faster than them. Again, another little heads up, hey, on your left. Higher up the road, some of the hazards we may encounter are water and rockfall. So water will be present despite whether it's raining or not, because there's groundwater seeping out of cliff sides. So when we're approaching groundwater, we want to make sure that our brakes are working, give them a little test. It's especially important on the way down because riding on a slick surface decreases our braking ability by 3 times. So if it takes you 100 feet to stop normally, on wet surface, it's going to take us 300 feet. In terms of rock fall, the rocks are constantly falling. As the snow melts, it's breaking apart rocks and they're coming down the cliffside. One important note to remember is that what you see on the way up may not be the same on the way down, emphasizing the point that on our way down, we're taking breaks, we're stopping, we are checking out the road ahead of us to make sure that the road is clear, and if not, we're dismounting our bikes to walk by them. In general, when the road is closed to vehicles, we want to keep the same flow of traffic. That means that even though we're on bikes, we're riding on the right-hand side of the road. It is okay to get onto the left-hand side in order to give pedestrians or other bicyclists road hazards, but in general, keep the right-hand side on the way up and the way down. When you get to the halfway point of your ride, whether you've made it all the way up to Logan Pass, the loop, or somewhere in between, when it's time to turn around, we want to make sure that we get off of our bikes and do a quick little inspection. Now, we're not expecting you guys to be bike mechanics like myself, but a quick squeeze of each tire, okay? Quick squeeze of each brake is going to let us know that the bike is generally in good working order. The other thing to do is just look over it. Does anything look to be broken? Is there anything jammed in your chain or in the gears? Obvious things that will impede you on your way down. If you've checked all that out and you're happy with the way your bike looks, do make sure that you have the right bike in your party. There are different sizes and you want to make sure that before you start riding, you're on the right bike. Remember that our trip up Going to the Sun Road is technically a backcountry trip. So even though there's a paved road, that area of the park is closed to vehicle access. And so therefore, rescue is a lot farther away. Things that we need to be super aware of are hydration. We always want to make sure that we're carrying lots and lots of water. It's better to carry more water than not enough. Additionally, even on the most beautiful of days, it can be sunny and warm down at the bottom. You're pedaling up, you're working up a sweat, you're really hot, you're taking off your jacket, your vest, whatever. Make sure that we have extra layers in the backpack. Even in the middle of the summer, we're climbing to higher altitudes and we need to be prepared for what we may face. As you may know, in Glacier National Park, we've got lots of wildlife. The big one that everyone wants to know about is bears. And yes, we do have a high concentration of bears, both grizzly and black bear. Our rule of thumb with bears, any type, is 300 feet is a safe viewing distance. Good way to check that is to put up your finger, close one eye, and if you can cover up that bear, then you're good to go. If you do get a little bit too close, we recommend using the sound of your own voice. Bears don't generally want anything to do with you, so if they know it's you coming, they'll get out of your way. If you do encounter a bear up close and personal, stay in a group, prepare your bear spray to spray just in case, and then slowly back away without making eye contact. In addition to bears, we also have a variety of different ungulates. We've got deer, elk, moose, we've even got bighorn sheep and mountain goats. They are all still wild animals and can be aggressive if provoked. So we want to give them at least 150 feet. They are more likely to scamper off, but it is still the human's responsibility to make sure that they're a safe distance. The big one in that group is the moose. A lot of people don't know how big moose really are and will want to get up close, but be careful. A bull moose can be aggressive and does not back down from a fight. If you do want to carry bear spray as a last resort, we do have some available for rent in the office. You just check in with the gals there, check it out, and you're good to go. Finally, please be sure to read over the 7 Leave No Trace principles before you come, and then grab some literature when you get here to review. We want to practice those 7 principles every time we go out into the wild.